have heard all about what you did from Prince Dimitri. As a citizen of Fargus, I thank you.
He also said you're quite skilled. And he doesn't just say things like that. I look forward to sparring with you, and beating you.
Felix, must you always speak of fighting right away? Oh, and, you may call me Ingrid. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. The Blue Lion House derived its name from the honorary title of the first king of Fargus. Lug, the king of lions, wore brilliantly blue garments. His chivalric exploits are recorded in multiple legends. The library holds various historical accounts regarding him and the Blue Lions. If you find time, you should read them. They're filled with insights. And now that you're all the way over here, Professor, care to join me in some training? After training, I love tending to the horses or burying myself in a good pile of books. There's truly nothing better. We are truly blessed with how fertile the monastery grounds are. Every day, there's something new to harvest. Lady Rhea lifts the spirits of all the people of Fodlan. We cannot allow her to come to any harm. Professor, please leave Sylvain alone for the time being. The thing is, the bandit's leader who stole the relic is Sylvain's disinherited older brother. Yes. That's the third time this month. Well, that's that. Father never relents. Oh, Professor! Hello! Did you need something? Well, that is... I was just tossing out something I have no need of. It's important to keep our spaces clean after all. You'd do well to remember that too, Professor. A clean space makes for a clean mind, or some such. Getting rid of things you have no need for is the first step to managing one's belongings in an economical way. While I'd love to help, I don't want people getting the wrong idea with me being alone in your room. Despite my family's nobility, we've never been particularly wealthy. So my father raised me to be conservative with my resources, paring down when necessary. He also encouraged me to keep my living spaces immaculate, so the two go hand in hand, I suppose. I think he'd be happy to hear you say that. Oh, just a scrap of paper. It was already written on, so no good for note-taking. And obviously, I can't use it to clean my lance. So I tossed it. No need to hang on to inconsequential things, you know. Professor, did you come to check on me for any particular reason? Oh, well, if there's nothing important, I'll be on my way then. I still have some cleaning to take care of, after all. Talk to you later, Professor. To think that Flame would disappear like this. Sedith must be worried sick. I haven't much to go off of, and perhaps it's out of line for me to feel so uncomfortable. But something has been bothering me for a while about Gilbert. I feel as though I've met him somewhere before. I also noticed him staring intently at Annette once. Holding such a frivolous and downright ridiculous event so close to the Battle of the Eagle and Lion? It's absolutely absurd. Although, they did say we could eat whatever we catch. I'm a sucker for a good meal. I just couldn't resist. Are you taking part as well? Why don't we have some fun with this? A little contest. If you catch a fish like this, come show it to me. Whoever catches the bigger fish will be the victor. So, you've caught something, have you? Let us pit our fish against each other. Alas, your fish is clearly grander than mine. I suppose you win. This time. You know, Professor, the tournament fish, and the meal we indulged in after the Battle of the Eagle and Lion, Why, all of the food I've eaten in this monastery has been absolutely delectable. Every last bite of it.
Food really is the only thing you think about, huh?
Hardly. I think about all sorts of things.
Oh, like tomorrow's menu, for instance?
Mercedes locked me in her room for hours earlier. She was slathering pounds of makeup onto my face, saying something or other about the ball. It really wore me out. Ugh. Will Father never learn? All of these useless letters are only creating more rubbish in the world. Professor? Oh, I didn't see you standing there. My apologies. Oh, that paper. Well, Yes, it was. It was a letter from my father. I understand where you're coming from here, but I have no need of such things. It isn't like anything of importance was written on it. Curious? I suppose there's no harm in allowing you to read it. Go on then.
My dearest daughter, Ingrid, are you well? I trust that you are behaving yourself and refraining from causing trouble for others. Things on the home front are in order. The marriage proposal for you and the Viscount's son should be prepared soon. Although, I am quite certain there are many superior candidates at Garreg Monastery. As you know, the very survival of our family is dependent upon whom you marry. You are the only one left in the family who can make things right. We are all counting on you. Do not lose sight of what truly matters.
Yes. Perhaps you found it somewhat entertaining. I've told you that we've never been very well off financially. My noble family, House Galatea, branched off from House Daphne in the Alliance. Shortly after, we were lucky enough to receive the support of the royal family, allowing us to attain nobility, to some extent. But the territory we watch over is poor, its harvest meager, and our noble blood too has grown thin. Neither my father nor my brothers bear a crest. I, however, do bear a crest. Because of this, my father sees me as our family's one hope for the future. A crest is highly prized among nobles. Were I to marry into a greater noble family, that financial support could soothe our woes. Thank you, Professor. Your sentiment alone is a great comfort to me. Despite my own feelings, I understand his approach to all this. It isn't that he doesn't care for me. I understand it very, very well, which is why I apologize, Professor. I must be going. Whew, I can't manage one more bite. So full. So full. Oh! Professor! What do you think you're doing here? I came here to stuff my... I mean, to have some me time. You mean you saw that just now? All the food? Everything? Ugh, so embarrassing. Maybe there's a nearby rock I can crawl under. Who, me? No, of course not. I was just about to walk off all that food I just ate. Really, I came here to have some privacy. But you're here now, so I suppose that makes it a bit less private. Well, yes. I suppose it's just us here. Does that concern you too, Professor? I'm happy to return to the reception hall. Of course. Nothing to see here. I'm happy to keep walking off this food in that case. Huh. The stars certainly are beautiful tonight, It's peaceful, looking up at them together, don't you think? Maybe we can do it again sometime. I'm so sorry. I never quite know what to say at times like these. Just Don't push yourself too hard too soon. It's okay to allow yourself to be sad right now. Losing someone dear to you. Well, each loss is unique, but it's a feeling I know very well. That said, Professor, Good timing, Professor. There's actually something I want to speak with you about. Will you put me in your class too? There are so many things I want to learn from you. Being in another class makes it especially challenging. Thank you, Professor. I look forward to studying under you. I will be extra diligent with my studies. Thank you for this opportunity. You've been granted this power by the goddess herself. Truly, you must be a very special individual. Maybe Seros transformed before receiving her revelation too.
I haven't heard anything about that before. Maybe that part never found its way into the legend?
It is told that Seros had a revelation, instructing her to use her power for good, and to lead the people of Fodlan to salvation. I wonder what sort of revelation you might have, Professor. I may return to Galatea territory, and try to convince my father to join our cause. It's possible that... No. In my heart, I know that my father won't listen. Still, I must get him to see reason. That this is the only way to ensure our family's future. His Highness, the new king, is in the process of unifying the kingdom under his command. His powerful army has joined forces with the Knights of Seros, who moved their seat to Fargus, and now they're presenting a united front against the Imperial army. They're our greatest enemy, absolutely. I don't relish the idea, but there's no turning back now. For now, we should focus our efforts on the Alliance. The Kingdom and Church can come afterwards. Judith, who defends the Great Bridge of Myrden, is a formidable opponent. We can't afford to drop our guard. Judith of Daphnel, you are a force to be reckoned with. You will not be forgotten. In another life, I might have fought by her side. It's a harsh truth, but it's the truth nonetheless. We can't change the past. Apologies for bothering you so late. I just really wanted to speak with you. Thank you. You see, I've been feeling conflicted about my future. It may seem petty to worry about such things in the middle of a war like this. This isn't something I open up about with many people. Feeling such a sense of inner turmoil while a war rages on, and others are fighting with all they have, well, it feels a little selfish. The truth is, I've wanted to be a knight ever since I was a small child. Not just any knight, like one you might find serving within the castle guard, but a true knight, one serving a master. However, my father has always had different plans for me. He wants me to marry for the benefit of the Galatea family. Defying my father feels wrong. I've seen how he's struggled over the years. His burden has always been far greater than any I've had to bear myself. While he fed me extravagant meals, he subsisted on meager portions and watered-down soups. He never once complained, even though he must have been starving. Knowing his sacrifices, I've never been able to tell him of my dream of becoming a knight. Although ultimately, I find myself betraying his wishes. Now that I've parted ways with my father, there is nothing to stop me from pursuing my dream. But even if I do become a knight, I feel an unease deep within me. I fear I will never escape this guilt I carry, that I have shunned my duty as a noble. To To follow both my dream and my duty? I had never considered that as an option. Perhaps there is a way. Even with the academy days long behind us, you're still a professor through and through. Always listening to others' troubles and offering up your wisdom. I really am grateful for all that you do for us, Professor. I hope you'll always be here as a guide to everyone. I know I myself would appreciate that deeply. While the battle with the Alliance is over, we still need to stay vigilant. Both the Church and the Kingdom are not to be taken lightly. I have a feeling we'll draw their attention soon. Weapon prep and training are of the utmost importance, now more than ever. I never thought this day would come, that I'd fight my homeland. My betrothed was a knight who served the king. He died bravely to protect the future of our country. Now I'm betraying the place he fought to protect. I'm betraying him, but I must do this. Professor, I believe in the path you have chosen for us.
And what's more,
Claude was known as the master tactician. There wasn't a situation he couldn't strategize his way out of. Whereas King Dimitri is known as the Tempest King. He is a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. We still haven't ever faced him head-on. Can we do this? Oh, Professor. Ever the reliable one. We have you, and we have Edelgard. Not to mention many other allies we can rely upon. Together, we can overcome even the most formidable foe.
Sorry. It looks like I'm going to have to leave you now.
One day, I hope you'll give this ring to someone you love, as well as I love her.
Is something the matter? You seem lost in thought. Oh? I didn't know. Though that is a bit of a coincidence. I came here in hopes of finding you. I had a feeling you might be here. Actually, I wanted to speak with you about something. I promised myself I would wait until the war was over. Well? Professor, I have feelings for you. Of course, I respect you as a person, and I'll understand if you can't love me back, but still, I had to tell you. Though my focus has ever been on my duty and training, I cannot deny the feelings that have arisen. My dream is to attain knighthood. But now, I have a new dream to hold tight to. That is to be with you. Always. Oh, is this? I must say, I'm a little inelegant with such matters. Battle is all I know. Are you quite certain? You truly desire to share your life with me. I am so happy. I worried that my feelings would go unrequited. Now that all of that is out in the open, I feel as light as a feather. My love, I swear to stay by your side, always. I swear on the goddess above, and on you, here at my side. You and I together, entering this new age. No matter what the future brings, I will stand by you as your sword, your shield, and your dearest companion. There is nothing that brings me more joy. It truly is all I need in this world. I love you so very much. I'm sorry. I'm overcome. This may take some getting used to. To think that the Flame Emperor was Edelgard all along. Flame's abduction? Geralt's murder? The turmoil in Remire Village? Whether or not she was the mastermind behind what happened, it at least seems like she was involved. And yet she was able to remain so composed while she was enrolled at the Officers' Academy. Professor, I have a proposal. Why not go beyond the Knights of Seros? Instead, uniting with allies from all across Fodlan to fight for our cause. Looking back, it would have been best to ally with the Kingdom and join forces against the Empire. But now the Kingdom is not exactly, well... My family, the Galatias, are an offshoot of the Daphne family. The family split in half, and two brothers quarreled over an inheritance. Despite blood relations, the families lived apart from one another, so the relationship has been distant and somewhat estranged. I'm not so much acquainted with Judith, the head of House Daphne. Yes, I agree. So, that was Judith. Just as I'd heard of her, she was an upstanding person. The same Daphne blood runs through my veins, and yet I feel as though I am nothing like her. I am but a phantom of what could be. You think so? Wow, thank you. I only know what little I overheard, but what I did hear implied that the Empire was involved in the tragedy of Dusker. If it's true, that may explain why His Highness chose to fight the Empire. Perhaps I should have fought alongside His Highness. Because I too lost someone to that tragedy. The most important person in my world. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated. Professor, once this battle is over, what will become of Fargus and Fodlan? Peace, you say? It sounds so foreign, so unattainable. But maybe, just maybe, my hope is for a world at peace. A world in which this present turmoil is a thing of the past, the stuff of legends. I believe those who survived the atrocities of war have a duty to create a new, better world. So the sooner we can stamp out such turmoil, the better. We must win, Professor. There is no alternative here. I won't allow for anything else. Is it really prudent to bring Lady Rhea on our upcoming expedition? It would be best not to have her doing anything strenuous, considering how long she was confined. There are still many in Fodlan who are seeking Lady Rhea's salvation. For their sake, we cannot put her in harm's way. Can it really be? Are we truly at peace? To think that my days will not be spent debating war tactics and preparing for battles, it doesn't quite feel real. Now that we are finally at peace, I'm not quite sure what to do with myself. Thinking of the future has never been my forte. As long as I have a routine in place for myself, I can find contentment.